Good morning to you all. Welcome back to today's teaching. Last time, we discovered that the tabernacle begins not with gold, not with furniture, but with woven curtains, fine linen, blue, purple, scarlet, and cherubim. Every thread pointing toward the formation of the inner sanctuary. Today, we discover something equally remarkable. God does not leave the curtains separate. He joins them together. Let's read carefully. Exodus 26 verse 3. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. Notice, nothing stands alone. Individual pieces become one structure. Already, Scripture is introducing a principle. Life grows through connection. In Exodus 26 verse 4 to 6, we see blue loops, golden clasps. The curtains become one tabernacle. Think about that. Not 10 separate coverings, one dwelling. Why is this important? Because truth is rarely built from isolated pieces. It is formed through relationship. Let's look at the pattern of oneness. Now step back and observe Scripture. Genesis begins with one humanity, male and female, and he called their name Adam. That's Genesis 5 verse 2. Jesus prays that they may all be one. Paul writes, there is one body, one spirit, one faith, one baptism. Again and again, Scripture moves toward unity. Not uniformity, but unity. Let's look at humanity itself. Look at your own body. Billions of cells, different organs, different systems, different functions, yet one person. Your eye is not your hand. Your hand is not your foot. Yet they do not compete. Each serves the whole. Paul uses exactly this image. Many members, one body. Could the joint curtains be pointing toward the same mystery? Many parts, one living sanctuary. Why 5 and 5? Notice something interesting. The curtains are grouped, 5 joined together, then another 5, then both become one. Scripture doesn't explain why. First, there is order. Then there is joining. Finally, there is unity. The emphasis seems to be less on the number itself and more on the movement from separate pieces to one dwelling. Let's look at the blue loops. The curtains are connected with blue loops. The color we observed in the previous episode. The color of remembrance. The color associated with heavenward awareness. Perhaps connection itself must be guided by higher consciousness. People can be connected by fear, by power, by manipulation, or they can be connected by truth. Only one creates a true sanctuary. Let's look at the golden claps. Then come the golden claps. Go throughout scripture consistently symbolizes what has been refined. Unlike iron, gold does not rust. Unlike silver, gold often crowns the holiest objects of the tabernacle. The claps don't merely hold fabric together, they preserve unity. This reminds me of Paul's words. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Notice, unity requires something that holds it together. Relationships, families, communities, even our inner lives. They need something stronger than emotion. They need truth. Now let's look at the inner life. Think about your own heart. How often do people feel divided within themselves? Part of them wants truth. Another part wants comfort. Part wants courage. Another part fears change. Inner conflict, fragmentation. The tabernacle offers another picture. Not fragmentation, integration. When our thoughts, our values, our actions, and our deepest convictions begin moving together, something beautiful happens. We become whole. Let's look at Jesus and wholeness. Jesus repeatedly restored people. But notice something. The restoration wasn't merely physical. People regained sight, purpose, community, peace, and identity. Healing in scripture often moves toward wholeness. The tabernacle also moves toward wholeness. Separate pieces joined together, one dwelling. If humanity is God's temple, then perhaps spiritual maturity is not about becoming someone else. Perhaps it is about allowing every part of our lives to come into harmony with truth. Our words, our relationships, our work, our thoughts, our motives, our actions, no longer pulling in different directions, but one sanctuary, one life, one purpose, reflecting one source. Imagine trying to build a home with 10 separate roofs. It will never become a house. Only when they are joined does shelter emerge. Perhaps our lives are similar. Knowledge alone is not enough. Good intentions alone are not enough. Spiritual experiences alone are not enough. Truth becomes a dwelling place when every part of life begins working together. As we close this episode, notice that the first thing God teaches us after weaving the curtains is to join them. Because beauty alone does not create a sanctuary, unity does. Perhaps that is why scripture continually calls humanity back to oneness. Not because diversity is wrong, but because love weaves diversity into harmony. In the next episode, we'll examine something that seems even stranger: the boards of the tabernacle. Why does God move from soft fabric to strong wooden boards standing upright? And what might that reveal about the inner sanctuary or the inner structure that supports a life rooted in truth? As I reflected on this passage, I couldn't help but notice something. The human body itself bears recurring patterns of 10. We have 10 fingers, 10 toes. The body itself is ordered. Whether this is intentional symbolism or simply an invitation to observe, Scripture continually invites us to pay attention to patterns rather than dismiss them. The God who reveals truth through creation may also be teaching us through the design of creation itself. Isn't it beautiful? 5 fingers on each hand. Joined together, they become 10. 5 toes on each foot. Joined together, they become 10. Just like the curtains. 5 and 5. Joined together, they become 10. I will see you in the next episode. Have a blessed day.